not reviewing a Mega Man game?
No. Thus, we present Mega Man Maverick Hunter X.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Capcom has been crapping out Mega Man spin-offs faster than we can flush them down the toilet. But out of these murky waters, one title has managed to float to the top of the bowl. And that title is Mega Man Maverick Hunter X. By the way, you're welcome for the visual. Now, I'm just as shocked as you are, but Maverick Hunter is a genuinely solid PSP title. Capcom remade the first Mega Man X that wowed gamers in '93. Newly refurbished with 3D graphics and better music, the boy in blue looks and plays better than he ever has before.
Even my explosion is beautiful.
As the story goes, humans and Reploids happily coexist until a truck goes and falls on someone. The cause? Mavericks.
Maverick?
You got it. Mavericks.
Mavericks?
It's X's job to find these Mavericks and bring them to justice.
That settles it. You're definitely a Maverick.
Well, that and to have an interesting love affair with Zero.
Zero. I wish I knew how to quit you.
Gamers have the option of playing with X or with his sworn nemesis, Bile.
X. Why does everyone like that guy?
In either case, the object is to side-scroll your way through the new and improved environments until you come head-to-head with one of the 8 robot bosses. As you defeat the Maverick robots, you become endowed with their powers.
Rolling shield!
In turn, each robot boss has a weakness for one of your acquired powers. If I were a robot boss, I'd have a weakness for Jessica Alba movies. Sorry, just thought I'd share. Another cool feature is that gamers can equip X with reused Fireball. We did encounter a few game-lag issues, but nothing too serious. After all, what do you expect from a game that allows you to throw fireballs? Believe it or not, the people at Capcom have actually developed a recent Mega Man installment that doesn't suck. Maverick Hunter presents a great-looking experience guaranteed to impress even the most constipated of haters. Mega Man Maverick Hunter X is back with 4 bottles of laxative out of 5.
A Mega Man game that isn't mediocre? The hell you say?
I know, it's crazy. It's like Mel Gibson making a movie in a language that still exists.
I'd be more excited if Capcom hadn't released 60 other Mega Man games this month.
They appear to be taking a shotgun approach, making every game conceivable and hoping that at least one of them doesn't suck.
And the one game that is pretty good is a remake of a game from 1993.
Just goes to show everything was better back when designing women was still on the air.
After the break.
Ever talking sense. It's Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Thanks for that. Welcome back to X-Play, your home away from Azeroth.
French existentialist Albert Camus once said everything he knew about morality and obligations he learned from soccer.
Actually, he called it football because he's French, and they're too weak to play real football.
And apparently everything he learned about morality was how to be a drunk hooligan and beat someone to death after a Real Madrid game.
But soccer does inspire great art. Like Bend It Like Beckham, the inspirational film that taught Indian girls it's okay to play sports.
As long as you're not a lesbian.
Right.
Also, we gave us Keira Knightley.
Which meant the world would never need Winona Ryder ever again. Thank you, Bend It Like Beckham.
But with every new year comes a new round of soccer games. Here's our look at Winning 11-9.
Yes, it's that time of the year again. Another installment of the Winning 11 series has hit store shelves. Okay, before you go changing the channel, we promise this one's worth your time. World Soccer Winning 11-9 for the PS2 and Xbox may just be the best soccer game ever.
It's the opening goal. That's a splendid header.
Thanks to top-notch control, this game features some of the best ball handling since my last physical. Even players unfamiliar with the series will have an easy time picking up the controller and playing a few matches.
Remarkable goal.
But veteran gamers will find a good amount of challenge thanks to the smart artificial intelligence of the opposing players. Every goal is a hard-fought victory.
Oh, it's a volley.
And these officials don't let anything slip by.
Red card.
There may be no other game for which online play has been this highly anticipated, and Winning 11-9 nails it. Thanks to a superb interface, this soccer sim features a seamless, lag-free experience no matter what country you hail from.
And he has a go.
The graphics are also nice, considering that this is a current generation game. Is it just me, or is that a lot of ads from Konami? We get the point already. The presentation in Winning 11-9 is top-notch. Brackley and Brookling are back to provide expert running commentary throughout the game.
Hello, I'm Peter Brackley, and for this evening's game, I have Kevin Brookling with me.
And the crowd gets appropriately psyched when you score a goal.
There's the opener.
That's good news for fans of soccer video games, but it's bad news for us here at X-Play. You see, we're a comedy show, and there's nothing funny about soccer. But what makes something funny? Well, first you take a well-known celebrity like Dr. Phil.
You've gotta love your wife.
Great. Now let's make him a robot.
You need to love your wife.
Not surreal enough. Let's add a unicorn. Huh. Still not funny. We need to put them in some sort of funny scenario. Wait, I've got it.
Yes, put that in my nasty and then grab my throat.
Bingo. There are a couple of things that could be tweaked for Winning 11-10. Even though the commentary is good, a lot of it feels recycled from Part 8.
There really was no stopping that.
And although it's mostly well done, some of the players' animations are a bit clunky.
That is a heavy defeat.
But even with those small complaints, this game is an instant classic for soccer hooligans everywhere. Winning 11-9 gets a 4.
That's the end of the game.
Out of 5.
Why won't you hold me?
Your money is on the dresser. Get your clothes and get out.
I do have to respect any game where a guy named Al Glorb can be a famous celebrity.
Soccer is such an international sport because all it takes to play the game is a ball.
It's cool to see countries like Pakistan and Uruguay get to be good at something other than being illiterate.
But if we want to see them participate in more equipment-intensive sports, they're going to need money.
So go to g4tv.com and contribute to Buy Mech Suits for the Children so we can learn who the finest mech suit fighters are, regardless of financial background.
But don't get too distracted by our fine website because we're reviewing Resident Evil Deadly Silence after the break.
In a moment.
No! Don't go!
Christmas food I bring to the party is Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Welcome back to X-Play.
Classic Games have offered us some amazing uses of the English language.
Spoonie bards, excrement, I'm surrounded, and the infamous all your base, to name a few.
But none had the undead flair of Resident Evil's Master of Unlocking.
Well, now you can go back and relive the magic of the original Resident Evil with Resident Evil Deadly Silence for the DS.
Change. Some people just can't accept it.
I hate new X-Play. It's always doing stupid flappy heads.
Changing the past. The handhelds love to do it.
Re-releasing old games is cool. Yeah.
And from the past, look what has risen from the dead and onto your palms with slight change. It's the original Resident Evil, now with minor stylus functions and a slight name change.
Don't open that door!
Resident Evil Deadly Silence, to be exact. Because silence can be deadly. And silent. And boring. And in this case, silence sounds a lot like 1996. These days, Capcom is issuing more re-releases than George Lucas. He's gonna need some Howard the Duck prequels if he wants to catch up. Sometimes nostalgia can be cool. Remember the past?
Chris is our old partner, you know.
But constantly trying to relive your former glory days is not cool. The problem with this is that Resident Evil has aged dreadfully, just like George Lucas's vision.
You don't like Star Wars? F you. I wipe my ass with $1,000 bills.
And just like Lucas, this game is becoming a zombie.
No.
By that we mean it was dead a long time ago. It's ugly and spews forth horrible dialogue.
Here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Returning alongside the awesomely bad voice acting are the equally awful archaic controls. The controls reek of the 90s more than Parker Posey singing an Alanis Morissette song while engaging in inappropriate contact with President Clinton and playing with Pogs. In Capcom's defense, Deadly Silence has been updated a tiny bit. The user now gets the joy of having touchscreen puzzles and knife battles. Stab and slash away at your touchscreen. Oh look, it's Attack of the Crow. Let's stab it. Ooh, one last zombie to kill. To sum it up, Deadly Silence is nothing more than a nostalgia piece hearted up with minor touchscreen capabilities. I'm amazed how the terrible video and voice acting made it into this version.
No! Go, go!
Let's just assume it was for comedic purposes.
Jill, be careful.
This 10-year-old crap drops a deuce out of 5.
Toilets are funny.
Yes, Adam. There's nothing more hilarious than natural human bodily functions.
But Morgan, it's not natural when it's zombie poop. Zombie poop is comedy gold. All those maggots.
No.
Why didn't they have zombie poop in Resident Evil?
Probably because its comedy factor would be severely outweighed by its grossness.
Hilarious grossness.
I wonder if brains are high in fiber.
Up next, why shooters have a bad name. In the city, it's Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Welcome back to X-Play.
Urban crime is a ripe area for video games these days.
With alien plagues and the wars of Roman conquest, it's one of the primary areas creating crises in video games.
But unfortunately, all the coolest crimes carry the strictest penalties.
That's why the latest shooter for the Xbox offers murder and mayhem with its title, 25 to Life. Here's a review.
Hello, kids. Today's gaming word of the day is scatological. Now, scatology is a biologically oriented study of excrement. Now, you might find yourself saying, well, Adam, that's all well and good, but I have no interest in studying the fragrant fruit of the booty. I simply want to know if this game is good or bad. Well, if scatology is the study of waste, this game is one of the larger human wastes of time we've ever seen. Allow us to put on our lab coats so we can further examine this rhino turd for your enlightenment. The video game ghetto sure is getting bleak, what with the 50-cent game being so bad and all. It's art imitating life. 25 to Life is another cracker-coated crap fest with a street-credulous soundtrack that may distract you for a moment as you stare in disbelief at what in Frodo's furry nuts you're doing playing this game.
Somebody set me up!
Raise the curtain on level 1 and find yourself home sweet hood, arguing with this tragic case of cosmetic surgery gone bad, who is apparently the mother of your child. You're Freeze, one of 3 characters you'll play in the game. And speaking of games, Freeze wants out. So, you know the drill. One more big score before closing down the criminal store. And it's just not that simple and boom! Hail of gunfire of wildly disparate caliber, wave after wave of adversaries, cutscenes of betrayal and redemption, clandestinely trained legions of clairvoyant ocelots overthrow the American banking system, and you get the picture. The mechanics under the hood of this jalopy are really one of the main culprits in the failure of the title. Character AI, for example. These adversaries dropped out of special ed, not high school. They shoot each other. They Molotov themselves. And most of the time, they won't even notice you unless they've already started shooting. You'll notice quickly enough that staying in the wide open will end your thug's life pretty quickly, as your adversaries are ridiculously accurate. Can you tell me what's going on here? What?
strange objective cutscenes will all of a sudden pop up, but visually give you very little to go on. What? What about that guy? You'll play as 3 different characters. Good, bad, but wants to be good.
But by any means necessary.
And just plain bad. There's really very little appreciable difference, however, once the action starts. Gunfights are just plain hysterical train wrecks of bad camera angles, ridiculously indestructible adversaries, and lousy collision detection. Taking a hostage to use as cover was pointless, as sheets of opposing gunfire quickly reduced your mortal cover to a fine crimson mist. Miles below the hustle and flow, this game just plain sucks.
That's a lot of blow.
We give it a 1.
I know I made a deal with the devil by being in the game.
Out of 5.
Crunk, exclamation mark, energy drink sounds tasty.
Almost as tasty as viewer mail.
Today's letter comes from Sam. Sam writes, Dear X-Play, have there ever been an MMO for a console? And if not, why then? P.S. Do you like Leonard Skinner or Run DMC?
Yes, Sam. Eutropius, 4th century consul of the Roman Empire, designed his own massive multiplayer game known as Anatolia Invasion Online.
If Eutropius' interest in MMOs may have been because he didn't have a girlfriend, that was because Eutropius was a eunuch. What's your excuse, Sam?
But if you're asking, are there any MMOs for consoles? The answer is yes. Final Fantasy XI is available on the PS2.
FF11 is no World of Warcraft, but if your PC can't handle a current-gen MMO, it's a fun option. And the water, it's pretty.
As to the second question, I prefer Leonard Skinner because of their progressive messages of social justice and gender equality.
I prefer Run DMC because I cannot resist a man in a fedora.
Really?
It's true.
You probably just increase fedora sales. I don't know.
Make the world a better place.
Yes. We're broke.